Ladies and gentlemen, Easy Aces.
Jane's brother Johnny finds that being married to the millionairess Alice Everett isn't going to be as soft a life as he had figured. His wealthy father-in-law and wife expect him to take a job. So does Mr. Ace, who almost came to blows with him last night. This episode takes place the following afternoon and is in 3 alternating scenes. Mr. Ace's office, the Everett mansion, and the office where Jane's friend Marge works. But first to Mr. Ace's office, where we find Mr. Everett just entering. Listen.
Well, Mr. Everett.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ace.
Well, this is indeed an honor.
I hope I'm not disturbing you unduly.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm glad you dropped in. Have a chair, won't you?
Thank you. I won't take up too much of your time.
Oh, that's quite all right. You're looking well, Mr. Everett.
Thank you. Nice offices you have here.
Well, they're offices.
I like them. Quite comfortable. I'm not keeping you from anything.
Oh, no, not at all.
Well, I'll try to be brief. I don't know just why I came to you, really, but I've been a little worried.
Worried?
Yes. Don't think it's a loan I'm after.
A loan?
Oh, nothing like that. It's more of a personal nature. That is, it has to do with my son-in-law, your brother-in-law.
Oh, yes, I had a hunch it might be Johnny.
You had a hunch?
Yes, you see, I happen to be in on the inside of the situation as it stands now. Oh, let me say right away, though, that my sympathies are entirely with you, Mr. Everett. In fact, last night, well, I know you live quite a distance from our home, but if your windows were open, you should have been able to hear some of the things I said to Johnny.
Oh, I see.
Well, it's not the first time I had to talk to him. I don't think I'm divulging family secrets by telling you that he came to visit us a couple of years ago, and we found out he had left home because his father thought it was time he got himself a job. So he ran away and came to live with us, off of us, I might say. Then I had it out with him, and he actually went out and got a job.
Well, that's a good sign.
Yes. The only thing was he got himself a job as a lifeguard at a summer resort, and 2 days later they found out he couldn't swim.
What?
Yes.
That's very amusing.
Yes, it is now. It wasn't very amusing then.
Well, I haven't any lifeguard jobs open.
No.
I imagine the boy feels he should become president of my bank or general manager of my department.
Yes, and then you'll find out he can't swim there either.
Yes. So I planned a little strategic move. I wanted to talk it over with you, to get your idea on the subject.
Why, sure, Mr. Everett. I'll be glad to hear it. You can talk frankly with me. What is the idea?
Oh, hello, Alice.
Why, Jane, I didn't expect you over.
Are you surprised to see me?
Well, surprised, yes, but always glad to see you. Won't you sit down?
Oh, thanks. It's getting awfully warm out.
Yes, I think you'll find it quite comfortable in here. Won't you let me ring for something to drink?
Oh, no, thank you.
Well, some lemonade or...
Oh, no, thank you. I'm only going to stay a few minutes. I came over to talk to you about the job.
About the job?
Yes, about the job. Oh, I mean about Johnny and the job you want him to take.
Oh, I see. And you don't want him to take. Is that it?
Me? Oh, yes, I think he ought to take a job.
Well, I'm glad of that.
Oh, sure.
I wouldn't want to do anything you didn't approve of.
Oh, sure.
I'm so glad to know you feel your brother won't be hurt working a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Well, we're agreed then. That's comforting.
Yes, isn't it? It's awfully comfortable in here. Well, about the job. Johnny was over to our house last night, and he and Mr. Ace had a long talk about it.
Really?
Uh-huh. And Mr. Ace thinks he ought to go to work, too.
Well, it's so nice to know you're all with me in this crisis. There's nothing like having the family wash out on the line for everyone to see.
I didn't notice it.
What?
You can't see it from where I came in.
You can't? Oh, well, you were saying, go on, please, Jane.
Oh, about the job. Well, I thought about it all night. I didn't sleep a wink. I kept thinking about Johnny and everything he had done since he was a little boy. You know how you do when it's dark and quiet, and it was awfully dark, and was pretty quiet, too, when Mr. Ace wasn't snoring. Oh, he doesn't snore all the time, mostly when he's asleep. I mean, when he sleeps real hard, and last night had to be the night. I believe it was the first night he snored.
Please, Jane, shall we go on?
What?
You were saying.
Oh, yes. Well, I thought about Johnny and everything he had done. I mean, up until he married you. And I finally had to decide that this was the best thing he had ever done.
Well, thanks.
Oh, not that he hadn't gone with other girls before, but most of them were just a fancy passing, you know. Well, I've always said that a wife ought to take the bitter with the better. Then I got to thinking, that is, last night when I couldn't sleep, I got to thinking, how about a husband? Shouldn't he take the bitter with the better? And I decided he should. When he first married you and he didn't go to work, he took the better, didn't he? Well, now that you and your father want him to go to work, I think he ought to take the bitter. You see how it all comes out?
I do not. I don't know what...
wait. Then I thought of a marvelous idea about him going to work.
Well, what is it?
Well, I'm coming to it. The way he told us, he wants to get a big job right away. But Mr. Everett thinks he ought to start with a small job, doesn't he?
Well, don't you think that Father knows best? Don't you think it would be better for him to start at, say, $50 a week and work his way up to several hundred?
Well, Johnny likes the other way, I guess. You know, starting at several hundred and working his way down to 50.
What?
But here's what I thought of. I think this will be just the thing, because Johnny's a little ashamed to take just any kind of a job, and I think if he does like I figured out, everybody will be happy.
Well, come in, Johnny. I'm expecting you.
Gee, nice offices. What do you do here, anyhow?
Oh, things.
I never did know just what kind of a job you had, secretary.
Yes, secretary and general handywoman. But let's not talk about me. How about you?
Me? Is that what you called me up to talk about?
Yes. What's going to happen?
Oh, I see. I suppose my dear brother-in-law got you...
He did not. He doesn't even know I called you. Will you take my word for that?
I'll try. It's kind of hard. What do you want to know?
Well, as I understand it, Mr. Everett and his daughter have decided that you ought to go into the business, right?
Wrong.
What? That's what I understood.
They want me to take a job in some branch of the old gent's business.
Well, that's what I mean.
Well, it's not the same thing.
Oh, a job's a job. What does it matter what you do, just so you keep yourself occupied? Why, you know as well as I, well, we might as well be frank about it. You know as well as I that someday, it may be years, but most of the business will pass on to you.
It will if I assert myself now.
Assert yourself how?
By not letting them cram just any kind of a job down my throat. The trouble with the old man is that he thinks I'm not capable of stepping into a big job right away.
Oh, and you think you are?
Listen, Marcia, I've been around. I've seen executives, yes, in pretty big jobs, and they didn't know the first thing about them.
So you think you'd like to be an executive that didn't know the first thing about his job?
Yeah, No, now you're getting funny. I'm talking seriously.
And I certainly am. Now, look, Johnny, I know this is going to sound like a lecture,
Now,
but
wait a minute. Before you start lecturing, let me save you some time. I've been giving this thing a whole lot of thought. The old man doesn't think I know anything about his business. Well, I've got a plan to prove to him that I do. And this is how it's going to work. But you've got to promise not to breathe a word of this to Eddie.
A very splendid idea, Mr. Everett. Excellent.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
Since he's so embarrassed about accepting just any sort of a job with my business, I thought in this way we might appeal to him as if he were doing something really important.
Sure, I see. You mean you're going to tell him that you think there's something going wrong somewhere in the department store end of it, and you want him to go to work there incognito. Is that it?
Yes, that's it. He can start in any department of the store. It really doesn't matter. Just so he gets the background of how we run our business. The foundation I've built the business up on.
I see. That sounds good. But it's got to be done on that basis. I mean, you've got to make him believe that he's really trying to find out something that's gone wrong, like a faulty sales force or, a leakage in your merchandising scheme.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Ace, you know the boy better than I do. I came to you to find out your reaction to a scheme of that nature.
Well, I think it's swell.
Do you think he'll respond to it?
Respond to it? Well, he'll think he's the biggest shot in the city. Of course, you've got to put it on pretty thick.
I beg your pardon?
Well, I mean, you'll have to be pretty convincing that you need him there incognito.
Oh, of course. He takes a job there under an assumed name. No one must know his connection with me.
That's it. Strictly undercover.
Well, why don't you like what I thought of, Alice? It doesn't matter what name he uses to work, and if nobody knows who he is in the store, then he won't feel ashamed about working at any kind of a job.
Oh, I understand that, but it seems such an underhanded way to do it.
What do you mean?
Well, it amounts to, tricking him into going to work.
Well, it's better than not going to work at all. I think it's just the thing. And you can tell your father to be sure to promise Johnny that nobody will know he's working there. Not even you.
Not even me.
Nobody. Then he won't feel ashamed about it. I think it's the best idea I thought of in a long time.
But how will it be possible for me not to know he's working there?
Oh, you'll know, really, but you won't let Johnny know you know. And he won't think I know. I haven't even said a word about this to Mr. Ace.
Going to work incognito.
No, under another name. Oh, you're getting it all wrong. I better explain it again.
No, you don't have to. I understand it. Perhaps it will be for the best, and even if it is tricking him into it, he'll probably thank me for it someday when I tell him.
Oh, but don't tell him now. Remember, dumb's the word.
Yes, I'll remember.
Then you'll do it?
Yes, I will. I'll talk it over with Father.
And by working there just as plain John Smith or Joe Dokes, I'll be able to pick up a lot of dope about the business that the old man doesn't even suspect. Get the idea?
It's marvelous, Johnny.
Why, I'll bet there's more wastage and loose links and, even stealing going on.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Well, you can't tell. And with my scheme, I'll be able to come to the old man after a while with a full and detailed report. That ought to give him an idea about my ability.
I should say it should.
But look, Marge, this has got to be in strictest confidence. I don't want anybody to know. Alice, Jane, Ace, especially him. This is only going to be between you and, the old gent, of course.
Oh, sure, you'll have to talk it over with him.
Yeah, but I won't tell him why I want to work incognito. Just that I want to, that's all. I'll take any department and look around until I find something. If I don't, I'll move to another department. And then when I come to him and show him what I've got, won't he be surprised?
I should say he will.
Yes, this private little secret of going to work is going to surprise everybody, but in a way they're not looking for. We learn more details when next we meet the Easy Aces.